Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Hey, welcome everybody to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and welcome also to Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas, and the Lone Star Street Rod Association's 49th Annual State Run. This is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and just ahead, we got more attendees from this weekend's big, I guess you could call it a cruise in.
Yeah.
Although some, I guess, stay overnight. But whatever the case may be.
We did.
It's a big show today and again tomorrow. Our regular features, including the new car review, Jeff's weekly unique feature,
We just
upcoming
did that,
events, racing calendar, auto history, all on today's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, and thank you for joining us today, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin. And our very special mental therapist, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Thank you, David, for all you do. Do I still need this little hard drive thing?
Gizmo?
He's going to put it on the other hard drive. Okay, that's fine. So anyway, just to clarify, we've had some computer issues this morning, so that's why you're not listening to our regular open, but you will, hopefully, here in the next hour and a half. Because David's been working feverishly on establishing that little thing that we've got. Yeah. So at any rate, Mr. Mars, it's time for our next guest.
This is a very special guest. This is Mr. Nin Hewlett of Hewlett Park fame.
There you go,
and past mayor of Granbury and Corvette owner.
Hey, Corvette owner, yes, sir. Yes,
Put
sir.
that
Pull this up a
microphone
little
right
bit
up there
tighter.
next to your
Put it
mouth.
up here.
Yeah,
There you go.
you know,
Hear it now?
you've been in the news before. You know how that microphone thing
Oh,
works.
yeah, well, I play music around town, too, so I should know
there you
better,
go.
right? I should know how
You
to
should.
do that, right? Yeah.
Well, you're just a jack of all trades.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do to make money, you know.
So I want to know, first of all, the Hewlett Park named after you.
No, sir. It's spelt different, but everybody they put it on me. They said, "That's your park over there." I said, "Well, no,
Absolutely,
it's not my
it is.
When things are going wrong, it's not my park. When things are going right, that's my park. You know?
Today it's your park.
Today is my park.
So you're the former mayor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Served for 10 years here in Granbury.
10 years.
Actually, I was serving when we brought the Lone Star event here, and we were excited to get him here. And then when the council brought it to me, I said, you know what? You don't have to say any more. I'm all for it, you know. And we had Tammy Dooley on board. Tammy Dooley is just super. You're going to be hearing from her later on, I think.
Absolutely.
And she does a great job of promoting this thing and doing.
Along
the
with her
things she
husband, Tom.
does. Mike.
Tom.
Today it's Tom.
Today
It's Tom.
Tom Dooley.
Hang
Tom
down.
Dooley. There you go. Okay.
Work with us. We're old. The jokes are old. But you
That's a
gotta
good
work
one.
with
That's
us.
a good one.
We even have a quartet coming in to sing it.
I think I've told her that before. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We love
Yeah.
Tammy Dooley, and she's done a great job, and she's a great spokesperson for this town.
Yes, she is.
And class act, and we love her dearly. And she's like our sister.
Well, she's the best in the state, and probably outside the state. She's like the little bunny, you know. She just you can't run her down. I challenge people. I said, overload her. I don't think you can do it.
No, exactly.
You cannot overload Tammy Dooley.
That was a find and a win on that deal.
Oh yeah.
So tell me about your Corvette. Is it here today?
Well, I actually got grandkids, so I told he called me this morning. Actually, he called me and apologized. He said, "Nin, I didn't know it was 7 o'clock when I was calling you." And I said, "Well," he said, "Did I get you out of bed?" I said, "No, I got grandkids in town, so I'm out of bed already." But we had to haul them up here too, so we came in the.
Need a little more room.
We came in a bigger vehicle, but I have a 71 and I have a 2003. The 03 is what I drive around town, and people don't believe it's got 245,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Yes, and it's people look at it and say, "Wow, that thing's like brand new." And I said, "Well, there's a lot of parts that's been changed out on it because they wore out." And that's what happened. But my 71 I've had it for long. It's been through about 3 restorations. It's going through one right now. And my wife says, "Does that thing even run?" I said, "Yes." So I have to pull it out of the garage every now and then just to show her that it runs, so that she doesn't put it by the curb and have it picked up at bulk pickup day or something.
Is it a coupe or is it a roadster?
It's a coupe. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And engine?
It was a 454 car, but it's actually got a 400 in it now. So there's a lot of things that aren't correct in it, but there's a lot of things that are. The windows are still correct. The gas tank, a lot of people look at that. It's still correct in it. Got a lot of correct stuff in it.
But
got
you
the
see,
correct wheels.
And I appreciate all of that.
Right.
And my car is a 2001 Corvette.
Right.
And it's not all correct.
Right.
Because that's got the wheels on it that I want to have on it.
Right.
It's got certain things that are mine that I like about the
That's
car.
the way I am.
Make it you.
And I appreciate all the original cars out there, numbers, all that. I got all that.
Yeah.
A lot of appreciation.
That's
for
hard
that.
to do. Yeah.
And there's something to be said for that.
Right.
And I want a car that's mine.
That's yours.
I'm going to make it mine.
Yeah.
And that's mine. I graduated in '71. I got this '71. My kids years ago found this car, and it was a disaster. And they said, "Here, Dad, we bought this for your birthday." And I said, "Well, thanks."
Here's
and
this
and I
basket.
looked at it. I said, "Yeah, I appreciate it, kids." But I've kept it because I've had opportunity. I've had 13 Corvettes. I retired from General Motors as an executive for them. And matter of fact, I was the assistant plant manager out here at the plant.
Arlington plant.
But I've traveled all around, and you might know this. I was a personal friend of Will Cooksey.
Why do I know that name?
Will Cooksey, they designed a car after him. They made, I don't know how many they made, but he signed it. He was the plant manager of the Bowling Green plant. But when I met him, I was a student. I was a co-op student for GM, and I met him as a professor. And then he went on to go into the plants and start running some of the plants and stuff. And he went to the Kansas plant, which I was at that time. And he had an opportunity. Will Cooksey raced Corvettes, and he was 6'7", and so he helped design the C5 so that a larger person could get in and out of them. And as you know, a large person can get in and out of the cars now.
Yeah.
My 71, sometimes people want to sit in. I said, well, I hope you can get out of it, because once they get down in the cockpit of them older ones, it's hard to get out of them. You got to roll out of them. So Will Cooksey, he was, like I said, the plant manager of Bowling Green for several years. Probably could have been the mayor of Bowling Green. Everybody loved him, and he loved Corvettes. And they did. They made a Will Cooksey Corvettes. And I forget how many they made, but there's a couple people in town that have with the Cooksey signature on them and stuff. So
very interesting. What a great.
How did you end up here in Granbury, coming from all
working
that?
for GM? I traveled all around. I was at that plant twice, and I lived up the Metroplex the first time. And at that time, it was a car plant, and I was with the car division. Now,
Didn't they make Impalas back then?
Yes.
Yep.
And they made, it was a BOC is what they call Buick Oldsmobile Cadillac, and they had one in Missouri, and I got transferred to this plant here. And like I said, as a manager, you were under an umbrella of a certain division back then. And I was at the car division. So then when I was here at the Arlington plant, they decided to go to truck and bus, start making the SUVs and all that. Well, I had to find a home, or they found me a home to go someplace else, because I wasn't with the truck and bus division. Shortly after that, I went back to the Kansas plant, actually, and they reorganized and they put it all under one umbrella. So you could work with any of them. It was all just GM, And so I said, hey, I got to go back to I was actually looking at the opportunity to be the plant manager of the new Kansas plant that they were building for the Pontiacs. And they said, you're making a mistake. You're going to have this plant. I said, I know, but I want to go back to Texas. I was homesick for Texas. I'd only been here about 5 years. And so I came back. They gave me the opportunity. I came back as a director for the material department up here in Arlington. And things have worked out pretty good. I got my promotion, and I knew I was going to retire sooner or later anyway. But I lived up in the Metroplex then, and then I said, I want to live on a lake somewhere. And so I started shopping around, and I drove halfway to Granbury one day, and I said, I don't know if I want to drive that distance. And the next time, another guy, a realtor, they're, hey, come on out here, I'll buy you lunch and all that. So I headed on, and I made it all the way out here. And I found one of these little homes on a canal, and I just fell in love with it. And I said, I want to retire here. And I did.
Been here ever since.
And I've been here ever since, and I've served the community. I still serve on a lot of the nonprofits and things like that, and things around. I mean, it's a great community to be involved in, because you're giving that, but they give back to so many people. This community is a giving community. It's just unbelievable how how this community is. And most of the stories you hear when you ask people how you got to Granbury, they said, we just come through and we fell in love with it. Just like that. And they said, we got to find a home here.
It's easy to do.
It is.
You got the lake. You got the downtown area with the square down there. You got a beautiful park like this. This is not the main thoroughfare.
No.
You got to kind of zoom off to the right just a little bit from the highway. And this is a little pocket park over here that's perfect for this show.
And we got Tammy Dooley.
And you got Tammy Dooley.
Oh, man.
Let's not forget about that.
And her husband, Tom.
And Tom Dooley,
Yeah, Tom Dooley. I haven't met him yet. She said that she was going to bring him to the show today.
Oh, yeah. He followed. When we hired her, we knew we was getting him, too. See, they ran the big carnival or the deal out in Odessa, which was a big facility, and they were going to retire from it. I knew Tammy from prior things up in the Glen Rose area, and I just introduced her to some people. I said, you don't have to hire her because of me, but listen to this lady. And she sold herself. And I knew she would. She sold herself to this community, and she blames me a lot of times. I said, no, Tammy, you did that on your own. But she said, no, you brought me here. But she's super, and when you hear from her, you'll know what I'm talking about. She's great and for this community. And this community, like I said, we've got car clubs, and I'm in the car club too of Granbury. We got over 2-3, a lot of them are here today with their cars, and then I'm in the Corvette club too. And our Corvette club's growing. We got almost 100 members in our Brazos River Corvette club, and but the car club is huge out here, and they go around all over they got events every week. Every week they're doing something.
I understand that Arlington is about to expand another $500 million.
That's the largest plant in the world.
Wow.
Now, auto plant in the world right there. The Arlington plant. And they build all the SUVs. People say, well, where else do they build them? They don't build them anywhere else but there. They work around the clock. And they also stamp out all their own sheet metal and stuff. So that's a big thing.
Unusual itself.
Well, that's a big thing in itself because, you sell all them parts to all these body shops and everything all over the world. And that's where they get all their fenders, doors, hoods.
Sure.
All that for them SUVs, So it's a large plant. It's big. It's growing.
And they're going to make it bigger.
And it's going to be bigger. It's going to be bigger. Well, there's a
that's
demand
more
for them
jobs.
things. Yeah, more jobs. It's a, I worked at a lot of plants. Back in the days in the 70s and stuff. I worked at plants that had a pretty hostile union, you might say, or stuff like that, up in the Detroit areas, and worked in Canada some and all over. I never found a plant that was better to work for, though, as the Arlington plant. They were all a team, and later on, GM went to the team concept, but they were already doing it here in Arlington. They were working as a team. You could go out and build cars and go out and have a few drinks with somebody and thinking, I don't know about this. These are the guys putting the parts on the car. They didn't care. They were all family, and I learned a lot just going out on the line and just visiting with people all the time and saying, hey, what do you think, this and that, and they would tell, and I'd go to staff meetings and they'd think I was the smartest person in the world. Well, I got it from the people, and the same thing with the city. When the city needed things, I'd tell them about things that people had been talking about out in the community, and they'd say, wow, I never thought of that. Well, you get out in the city and you talk to the people.
Get out and find out.
Same thing as running a corporation.
I went to a plant that no longer exists in Janesville. Matter of fact, my brother worked at the Janesville plant until he retired, and he introduced me to a lot of people there. I got to see how the vehicles were built out there, and it was the same kind of camaraderie. We've got this going for an end result, and there it is right there.
Yeah.
And it was really eye-opening and a pleasant thing to see, because all you think is a big sweatshop with guys, putting on wheels all day and all night. No, it doesn't work that way. And there's a lot to be said for that.
It is, and it takes that person that wants to be there all day long and do nothing but put that bolt on. And
Jeff worked at a plant.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Fisher Body. Yeah.
Fisher Body. Yeah. That's back when they
Detroit.
Back when they had a separation there again. They had Fisher Body and Jimmy. And some of the plants were divided by a railroad track right inside the plant.
Some were divided by like a mile.
Yeah.
Because we did from the firewall back, and then they took it over to the Cadillac plant and they married it to the chassis and engine.
How goofy was that to truck a frame over to another plant?
Well, painted the car from the firewall back, and then you ship the fenders that aren't on. You got to send them over there. And railroad cars, they did it with.
When I look at that, I think, why didn't I think of all that? But somebody You know, back in the days, that was the way you did business. But then now it's all done, like that Arlington plant. It's all done right there.
Just in time now, yeah.
Yeah, it's they stamp their sheet metal. There again, you know, you used to stamp the sheet metal on the other side of this United States, you know, and ship it over. Well, what happened? You get a flaw. You get a defect in a die.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? You're going to have to pay a guy to clear the system, to get the system purified for months probably, and you're going to pay him overtime because that die was detected, and you got the pipelines full.
It took you a while to find it because the pipeline's already full.
And it's full of them. So now you just walk across the the plant there and say, "Hey, stop! You got a defect."
Yeah.
But
it's fascinating.
It's
you know
fascinating.
what? Here, you just go ahead and take this and just do the rest of the show, and
No,
we'll be your audience.
We're
no,
gonna grab a sandwich or something.
I do want to say though that you know, I heard you talking about Granbury, how great Granbury is, and the things that we do here.
We look forward to coming here.
These people do too. I mean, and we have events almost every week. And sometimes I think, what are we doing this for? Well, first of all, it helps our biggest industry in Granbury. We've tried to bring big industries in here and stuff, and we can get some probably, you know, but our biggest industry is tourism.
Our spouses are out in your city right now.
Thank you.
Shopping the shop.
Spending money.
Thank you. And that's what we tell people, you know, and this car show, that's why we appreciate them so much, not only for their beautiful cars and coming here and a friendly family event out here, but they're here staying in the hotels. They're here spending money. They're here eating here. They're enjoying our community.
And you know, whether you like cars or not, come here and see these. You're going to like these. Because
exactly right.
Yeah, it's a piece of jewelry at the jewelry store that you've never seen before.
Oh, we've seen young parents pushing strollers with kids, carrying kids.
Yep.
You've got a big gymnasium thing here in front of us, plus the lake.
Yeah, like you said, you brought your grandkids out here.
Oh yeah.
And you're not the only one.
Do you know what they're doing right now? They're tearing up
tearing up the park. Riff-raff.
Well, I had to brief them, you know, on what to do. I said, you don't put your fingerprints on these cars. What? You know, I said, no, you don't do that.
We can't touch them.
We can't touch these. We can't climb around. Yeah, but no, this is just one of many great. But this is one of my favorite events because I like cars, and I thought, man, we bring a big show like this. Number one, it's gonna help the car enthusiasts. And there's a lot of them here in Granbury. Like I said, we've got over 200 people in just our car club.
The local.
There is Miss Dooley there as we're speaking. Right there. Yeah.
Did you bring Tom with you?
Is that your old car?
That's a nice looking old car. So she'll be back to talk to us a little bit later
Tammy
on.
Dooley's something else.
So the thing from last year, I've noticed a couple of these vehicles from last year.
Oh yeah.
And I think what it is they get together and they come back to the same spot.
They do.
They
come out here early.
Or the same part of the park. They're going to be in that area.
Let me tell you what one of my missions was this time. I come up here and I give it, you know, I like to sponsor this show and everything, but I was talking to him and Tammy come to me and says, Nin, I need some help. What do you need, Tammy? She says they every morning they do the Pledge of Allegiance to a flag, that flag right there. And she said it wasn't there last year. It's because it belonged to somebody. She goes, I don't know who that guy is, but they like to pledge that flag. I said, well, I know who that guy is. And that's a retired police officer, and he's a great guy. He's a great guy. And I said, let me go talk to him. I knocked on his door. Come, hey, Ed. Nin, what are you doing? I said, well, I got a special permit request from you. What's that? He says, you know your flag in your backyard? Oh, yeah. I said, you're flying the Texas flag, and the car show likes to pledge the American flag that you had there at one time. He says, oh, man, he says, it's all rattled, it's tore up. I said, I'll get you a new flag if you'll fly it for us.
So that's in his backyard?
It's right there in his backyard. And he said, you got it, Nin. And I called Tammy and said, it's done deal. And Tammy said, we got him a flag headed that way. You know, so that's the kind of things in this community that just make it what it is, you know. And he said, I'll fly that flag, but I'm ashamed of the one I got. And I said, we'll bring you a good one, okay? You know.
That's right. So, they make new ones.
And I never even thought about that. When she told me about what it was, I said, I think I know who lives there, Tammy.
We ate at Hofbrau Steaks last night. Pretty darn good place.
Great place to eat.
Yeah, it is. It's in a great atmosphere. But the staff, spot on.
Oh yeah,
They were
love the staff.
They were great.
You know, when I served as a mayor, I used to do the introduction for people coming to town and all that. And I'd always say, first of all, I'm not going to say let me be the first one to welcome you, because I'm probably not the first person to welcome you to Granbury. If you stopped at a convenience store, if you stopped anywhere coming into Granbury, you all have already been welcomed to Granbury. And they go, you're right. I had they say, we had a little lady at a convenience store just went on and on and on about Granbury. I said, there you go. I said, so I will welcome you to Granbury, but I'm probably not the first person to welcome you to Granbury.
Well, listen, man, thank you so much for stopping by and talking to us.
Yes, sir.
Love the stories, and hope to see you again. Please come out next year. Hopefully we'll be invited.
Love
back.
what you guys are doing. Oh, yeah. And we're going to have we're planning a big event for the 50th anniversary of this.
Wow.
We're going to have music. Maybe I'll be playing some music for you. So we'll be
play
playing
guitar?
Oh,
in a
yeah.
band?
I do that.
He's the drummer.
I'll play drums for you.
Well, I used to play in bands. You just couldn't keep them together. So I play by myself. I play all over town, different events.
Little acoustic sets, yeah.
And Tammy will tell you about that probably. But we got big plans for this 50th anniversary, and we're going to
thank you so much.
Do it up right.
We appreciate you
Thank you
stopping
guys.
by.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Mr. Mars. Since I don't have any clue as to what page we're supposed to be on, I'm thinking I'm going to rely on you heavily.
Well, this is so coming up next is Jeff's cruising.
We didn't do that.
Oh, that spot, break 3, yes.
Well,
You're going to rely on me?
Well, yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot. You tell me what to do.
You want to go for a break?
change.
You want to go to the next
We need
one?
to do break 3.
All right, well, let's do that. This is the In Wheel Time Talk Show, and we are broadcasting today from Hewlett Park, Granbury, Texas, the Lone Star Street Rod Association. And Mr. Mars has got a computer that times itself out.
Oh, boy.
And, there's no clue as to why it does that. Well, I'm not on it that long. Well, maybe that's
No,
the problem.
I am on it, and it goes to sleep when you're not on it.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's
All
what
right.
it is.
Well, thank you very much. In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues from the Lone Star Street Rod Association, 49th State Run, right after these messages.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, coming to you live today from Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas, in the Lone Star Street Rod Association State Run, the 49th annual edition.
Wow.
All right, Mr. Zekin has the cruise in.
Cruise in. A lot of these things are going on right now. Today is Saturday. Of course, if you're not in Granbury, you're nowhere, but that's a different one. Today, you got the Classic Car Cruise in for seniors, Don. It's actually going on right now through mid-morning, through about noon, 11 o'clock. This event is scheduled for today. It will be held from 8 to 11, providing ample time for attendees to walk around and admire vintage automobiles. So there's seniors out there. There's folks in wheelchairs, They go out and they help entertain with their cars. It's at 7490 Beechnut Street in Houston. So if you're in the Houston area, go attend it. It's very, very cool. The next one is Ocean View Classic Cars and Trucks. It's a meet out there. It's at Sylvan Beach Park in Sylvan Beach. It's in LaPorte, Texas. It goes till noon. Cars, coffee, and more, hosted by Liberty Street Rally. It's a free event, open to all makes and models. An informal gathering of car hobby enthusiasts. Meet, organize cars, drink some coffee, hobnob, network, all kinds of good stuff. Downtown Liberty on the square. It's at 1923 Sam Houston Street in Liberty, Texas. And, of course, tomorrow.
Liberty, Liberty, Liberty.
Yeah, you can buy insurance out there, too. Octane and Espressos. Octane and Espressos will be hosting the event on the second Sunday.
I think it's called Espressos, isn't
Espresso?
It could be Expresso.
Expressos.
That would be the bus, I think.
Yeah,
though.
I think we could take yeah, you could do that. Second Sunday of every month, that's at the Black Rifle Coffee Company in Copperfield. It's at 7086 Highway 6 North in Houston. It's going on right now, so if you're in Houston on the northwest side or the west side, go check it out. Drink some espresso and espresso at the same time. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. I pressed the wrong button here, David, and I messed it all up.
That's
but
all right.
I'll deal with that later.
Deal with it.
I'm going to deal with it.
Deal it.
I did want to do some recalls. There are some new car recalls. Land Rover, Range Rover, no surprise there, 2018 to 2022. The rear camera image may not display, being recalled for that. Incorrect tires installed.
What?
Incorrect tires installed on the 2024 Chevrolet Colorado. How in the world do you do that?
Size or the
It
aspect
doesn't
ratio?
say that. It doesn't say, I don't know. Whatever. Incorrect tires are installed. 2024 Chevy Colorado. Improperly aimed headlights. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
On all of the things that Rivian has made for 23
boy.
and 24. Rivian EDV, R1S, R1T. You're being recalled to the principal's office.
The whole
rear view camera image may not display properly on the Lincoln Aviator 2020 to 2024.
Wow.
You're under recall. Seat wiring harness incorrectly routed. Mercedes-Benz AMG C43. Don't even know what that is. But I think that every electric or electrified vehicle made by Mercedes-Benz is being recalled because the high voltage battery may shut down unexpectedly. In other words, Martha, I don't think I have an accelerator pedal doing anything anymore. Well, I guess we'll have to pull it over to the side of the road. And call the tow truck, the Mercedes-Benz tow truck. That won't cost you anything.
That's the big one.
So it's AMG, EQE, a bunch.
Well, did you know that 95% of EVs are still on the road, and the other 5% have made it to their destination?
Good. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Okay.
Tesla Model 3, S, X, and Y, starting the 2017 model year. Seatbelt warning system malfunction. Your seatbelt is not attached. Okay.
Or buckled.
Toyota is recalling 112,000 Tundra full-size pickups and Lexus LX600 large SUVs because of possible machine debris in the V35A engine. Now, that's a lot.
Yeah.
2022 to 23. That engine is a V6, a 3.4-liter V6, supplied from the Tahara plant in Japan for Toyota Auto Body and from Toyota Manufacturing in Alabama for the automaker's assembly plant in San Antonio.
Wow.
So they build them there in Alabama and send them over to San Antonio to get installed.
Yep.
If you got one of those, it's being recalled, probably going to have to wind up getting you a new engine. So I just thought I'd tell you about that. And Honda recalling 138,000 Fit and HRV vehicles in the U.S. and Canada because of an issue with a rear view camera image not displaying when the car is started.
A lot of camera stuff going on.
I know. Recall covers 18 to 20 Honda Fits, 19 to 22 Honda HRVs, about 115,000 vehicles here in the United States. That's it for this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We're going to continue this broadcast right after a brief break. Stay with us.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.